Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. My name's Nick, and this is my daily ramble. I hope you're all well. How are we feeling after the weekend? And more importantly, how are you feeling about tonight? Are you confident? Ooh, I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because this is a type of game. The last 5 games that we've just played, although results, we'll just talk about the results on paper. You know, it's pretty good. 4 wins in 5. But this next run of games coming up, this is the real test. And we're still not out of the woods yet, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. But as always, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. Plenty of stuff coming out. I'll go into that later on. Actually, we've got some shows coming out later on. And if you enjoy the show, please drop a like on it because it really helps us. Okay, on with the show. So after Everton, I think a lot of us, at least, had enough. Not everyone, because everybody's different. So, some people are more patient. For me, that was my breaking point. And I haven't really changed my stance. I've still not seen enough over the past 5 games, even though those results have been there. To be honest, David Moyes couldn't have picked 5 better games himself, even if he had the opportunity to, could he really? Wolves, who are in such a bad way that, their manager got sacked after losing to us. We had the Fulham game where that game could have been lost completely in the first 20 minutes. They was without their star striker as well, luckily enough, because they probably would have tucked a couple more goals away. And we did grab 3 goals in that game, but every single one of them was contentious. Now, I think it was proved in the end that they were just decisions, but at the same time, they were decisions whereby we couldn't have complained either way. If it had gone the other way, the Dawson penalty for a start to start off with, that one, we wouldn't have complained if we hadn't got that. The Skamaka handball as well on the replay. You've seen those given in the past, and then the Antonio goal and the lead up to it, there was like a double handball. I know he was almost taken out at the waist en route through to that move, but yeah, you see what I mean. So a little bit of luck in that game, a little bit of luck. The 2 Anderlecht games I'm going to discount completely because they're rubbish, to be honest. It's rubbish opposition. We got the job done. You can only beat what's in front of you, but we got that done. And then we come up against Southampton. Now, Southampton were off the back of 5 defeats. They were bottom of the form table. They'd scored 2 goals in that 5 games in that period as well. And I know we only had the 1 centre-back, but we set up with 5 at the back and 2 central defensive midfielders. That's what we did. We set a roadblock. Now, I know people have been throwing this 25 shots on goal stat as if to try and demonstrate that we played in an attacking way. No, we didn't. We got desperate. We were shooting from everywhere. In fact, the only stat that really matters is the fact that we had 4 shots on target to Southampton's 8. So, no, we didn't create loads of good chances. We had lots of efforts on goal. But like I say, the football has still been turgid. In this period, it's still been poor. Now, this is a period for me coming up, right? That's partially the negativity out of the way. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to shelve that now. So all I'm saying is my stance still hasn't changed, even though we've got points that we need to move us away from that bottom 3. My stance still has not changed from the Everton game because I've not seen enough. We've got over the line, we've got the results, but I've not seen enough to convince me that we've turned a corner. Now, the next 5 games, and again, I'm going to discount the European games, because these are even more meaningless. We're already through in Europe now. So Silkeborg and Bucharest, we're going to be playing the kids in those games. We should get through them anyway. But I'm discounting those games. The important ones, where for me, Moyes is probably going to be judged ultimately, is going to be Liverpool away. Tough game. It is a tough game. We'll talk about that game in more depth in a minute. Then we've got Bournemouth. Then we've got Man United. Then we've got Palace. Then we've got Leicester before the World Cup. Those 5 games. Now, I don't know about you. I don't see us going away to Liverpool, Man United and getting anything. Not with the way that we're playing, because we're not playing well. And not with David Moyes, sadly, because he never seems to go away to these places and get results. Typically, he doesn't. He never has done. You heard him in the pre-match press conference today. It is very defeatist. He was referencing more Man City couldn't even beat him. So, yeah, for me, this is where he's kind of going to get judged. And out of those 5 games, so Liverpool, Bournemouth, Man United, Palace and Leicester, I don't see us getting any more than 6 points. I mean, there's 2 games there that we're not going to win. So there's 9 points up for grabs, as far as I can see. Look, you never know. We could get something in those games. I'm just saying, logically, I don't think we're going to. All right, not the way that we're playing. It would be a massive surprise. But this is where David Moyes could start changing people's minds. He's got the opportunity to do that. But more importantly, in terms of points, we're 10 games. We've got 11 points. I've just mentioned 5 games. That takes us up to 16 games before the World Cup break. Now, if we do manage to get 2 wins out of 3, because I'm discounting Man United and Liverpool now, so now we're focusing purely on Palace, Bournemouth and Leicester. So if we're not going to win all 3, because it's not going to happen, but if we manage to get 2 wins out of that run, so that's 2 wins out of 5 games, that only puts us on, because we're on 11 points now, it puts us on 17 points after 16 games. And then when we come back after the World Cup break, our first 2 games, Arsenal and Brentford. Now, if we're only on 17 points after 16 games, come the World Cup break, we're going to be down the bottom again. We may not be right in the bottom 3, but you're going to be looking at 15th to 17th. We could end up in the bottom 3 with that sort of points tally, because depending on how the season goes, they say 40 points is the magic marker. We're just about on target for it if we get to 17 points. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. That means that we have absolutely 100%. David Moyes has got to improve on what he's done at the start of this season, in this first half of the season, in the second half. Otherwise, we're in danger of relegation. Now, if we don't start seeing better improvements, what I'm saying is if we go into the World Cup break on a downer, if we've lost 3 or 4 out of 5 games, how can there be any faith that David Moyes is going to be able to turn that around when he does come back? That's where the risk is. But bear with me. So for me, if it goes the way that I predict, and I am predicting it that way, I'm predicting that we are going to lose against Liverpool, and I'm predicting that we're gonna curl up into a defensive ball. We're gonna sit 9 men behind the ball. And Skamaka or Antonio or whatever poor striker we've got playing up front is going to be up front scratching their arse for 90 minutes, not doing much, because we're going to be camped deep. It won't work. We might keep the score down. It might be damage limitation. It might end up 1-0, 2-0 to Liverpool, but we won't score. It's not going to happen if it plays out the way that I think it will, because if Moyes sets up that way away at Southampton, you can only imagine how he's going to set up away at Liverpool, who have just beat Man City. Same for Man United. I just don't think. I think we're going to get. It'll be the same at Man United. They're another team that David Moyes is going to be scared of. They're another team that he's going to be. I think David Moyes is just scared of everyone in the Premier League. We set up for 45 minutes against Aston Villa, who were terrible. When we played them, they're still terrible now. But we set up for 45 minutes the same way. We didn't register a shot on target in the first half. That's another thing as well. In our first 11 games, we've only registered shots on goal in 7 of our first halves. That's it. No, 7 of them we haven't. Sorry, I got that completely arse about face. In 7 of our 11 games, we haven't registered a shot on target in the first half. That shows you what the mentality is when we start games. Now, you're not always going to be able to keep it tight. You could lose a game in the first half. It could be out of sight. It could be too little too late, like sometimes it often is. And against teams like Liverpool and Man United, that probably is going to be the case more often than not, because you're not going to be able to keep them out, especially if we have got a makeshift defence. So yeah, I think that's my feeling. I think those games are gone. Now, against Palace, I don't know. Palace, they've been playing good football, but they've not really been getting the results. Bournemouth, similar. And Leicester are a strange animal. You're either going to batter them or they're going to batter you. It depends what Leicester you face. I do think that they will be suited to us sitting deep against them, because they do like to play football. They like to knock it about. So I just don't know if he doesn't change his style. And this is my main problem here. Nothing has changed. The style hasn't changed. We've seen new players come in since the Everton game. Whether that was enforced or not, I don't know. But the style is the same. We're just the same team with Paqueta and Scamacca in it. You know, there's a little bit of magic in there now. Not based on the way that we play, but based on the personnel that have now been put in there. John done a video yesterday, on the long-running saga with Souček. I mean, we've dealt with Soufal now. Soufal was only back in the team because of the injuries. So Soufal had finally been taken out after an extremely long run of poor form. And now we're just waiting for the moment where David Moyes does the same with Souček. I don't know when it's going to happen, especially when you've got the likes of Flynn Downs on the bench. A bloke who's got 3 consecutive man of the match performances in his European games can't even get a sniff of Premier League football. Can't get a start over a bloke who's been awful for a long time. It's mind-boggling, really. But he could change us. Even me, like I said to you, nothing's changed in my mindset. I'm not going to say the magic words again. I already said them after the Everton game. My stance hasn't changed. All right, so I'm still there. But the only thing that could change my mind is for us to show some balls. Is against Liverpool tonight. Is for us to basically go, do you know what? This is a free hit, because it is anyway. You know, we will all tolerate a loss against Liverpool. But we'll tolerate it a lot more if we do actually go out and have a go. He should go and have a go. Don't put 9 men behind the ball. Don't, because you're going to invite them on. You're not going to be able to keep them out. You're just not. They've got too much quality. The only thing that you can do is try and peg them back. You know, you defend through attacking. So, i.e., I said the way that I would like to set up personally, I'll sort of run through my lineup, and I'll give you my rationale on that as well. Now, look, goalkeepers, by the by, I would put Areola in because I think he's more athletic, and I think we're going to need a good shot stopper against Liverpool, and we're going to need a goalkeeper with good distribution. Fabianski did demonstrate that he's still a capable shot stopper. In the last game, I mean, he pulled off some world-class saves against Southampton. He really did. He kept us in the game in the first half. But Areola he's more agile. He's a better shot stopper. He's just a better keeper, okay? But Fabianski isn't a problem. So I suppose we won't focus on that too much. Now, I would want to play with either a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. Doesn't matter. It becomes the same thing anyway. Wherever you draw it on paper, if we stick someone in that 10, half the time they drop back and we form a 3 in midfield anyway. So don't get hung up on 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, because most of the time it is a 4-3-3. We end up with 3 players in central midfield. The number 10 drops deep. So it's kind of the way we play anyway. So the way that I would want to face Liverpool is I'd want to put Johnson on the right-hand side, because he's our best defensive right back. He is. When he first came in, he had some great games against Liverpool and Man City when he was thrown in at the deep end, didn't he? He was really, really good. So yeah, let's just get him there. Let him focus on defending. On the right-hand side of defence, I'd put Kehrer. On the left-hand side, I'd put Zuma. Zuma will be back. He's only been out with a cold. He's trained a bit. He'll be in it. Don't listen to Moyes. He'll be back. So it's going to be, not going to be, I would go Johnson, Kehrer, Zuma. On the left-hand side, although I think Cresswell hasn't done too much wrong this year, apart from his terrible set pieces in that last game, Liverpool's pace just it terrifies me, and they're really and they do play and they overload down the wings. So for me, I would go with Emerson, not because Emerson is a better defender, but because he's got more pace. It just gives us more pace there, and I'd get him to focus on defending. That would be my back 4. I'd obviously go for Rice in central midfield. Souček would be out and Downs would come in. That is an absolute no-brainer. You know, Liverpool play football on the floor. So Thomas Souček's aerial prowess is not even a conversation. It's not relevant. You know, they don't play over the top. They play on the floor. We need people that are good on the floor. And when we get the ball, we need people that can use it and keep it. That's what Downs does. So Downs and Rice, great. Right now, the number 10, Paqueta, I do like. He creates lots of chances, but he gives the ball away an awful lot. In a game like this, I don't think that we can risk that in the middle of the pitch. So I would put Fornals in his best position, where he always plays best, and that's in that 10, which would be, it'd be one of the central midfielders, basically. But he would be the one that would push forward, link play. He moves the ball well. So you've got three technical players there in Rice, Downs, and Fornals that can do everything. They can all they will all run through brick walls. They're all quite good defensively. They can all pass the ball as well. And then on the right-hand side of the attack, Bowen's out because he's been poor for the majority of this season. And he has, apart from maybe 2 games. I know he scored the penalty against Fulham, but he was crap in that game. And he was poor in the recent one as well. I'll take him out. He should have been one of the players that got hooked off against Southampton. So for me, I'm going to go for Paqueta on the right-hand side so that he can get close to Scamacca and they can continue that link-up play that they've got. Obviously, Scamacca as a forward. And I would go on the left, I would go Ben Rama as well. That's a front three of Benny, Scamacca and Paqueta. Now, what that will do, because that is a threatening front three. It really is. What that will do is that will give Liverpool something to think about, and it will probably prevent them from constantly getting up the pitch and overloading us in wide areas all the time. As well as the right wingers, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold coming up, getting forward all the time. They're going to have to be looking over their shoulder. If we've got an attacking threat, they're going to have to be looking over their shoulder. And with Fornals, Downs and Rice in central midfield, we've got 3 good battlers there as well who can fight the fight in that central midfield. That is what I would do, Personally, I think that and that on paper is a brilliant team. It really is. Full of good footballers as well. There are still a few weak links. The fullback positions are still highly questionable, in my opinion. Although to do a defensive job, I think Johnson is fine as a defensive right back. Johnson's he's fine. It's getting up the wing and his forward play that lets him down. But defensively, I think Johnson's probably about as good as you can get for a right back. So that's fine for this type of game because I don't want us to play what we do, that slow build up play where we get the ball in the middle and we don't go through the centre. We wait. We pass it out wide and we wait for our slow fucking fullbacks to meander up the pitch so that they can get a crossing by the time that the opposition have regained their shape completely, and there's no threat then. You've literally got to hit a needle in a haystack to even have half a chance of creating anything from that sort of position because we're taking far too long to get up the pitch and get that ball into the box. So I just want us to be quick, snappy, when we do get the ball. I don't mind us playing counter-attack. I don't mind that being quite deep. I don't mind the 3 in the middle being regressed and shielding the back 4. But I want that front 3. I want them forward. I would ban them from coming back over that our side of the pitch. I'd be like, no, you're there. Because, like I say, when you do that, you're giving them something to think about. And they've got loads to think about there. With Scamacca in the middle, who's more than a match physically for Van Dijk. That's going to be an interesting battle, that is. Van Dijk's not been on form. He can fight that fight if we do sort of go direct and get a ball to him. And then you've got Paqueta and Benny either side. That's fine. That's more than enough. You know that Liverpool are going to commit bodies forward. So 3 players like that versus whatever they've got back, maximum 4, we've got a good chance there. Good chance to sort of, and some good craft and trickery as well. So yeah, that's what I would do. I don't think that we've got a hope in hell chance of seeing anything like that. I don't think we are. I think what we're going to see, if I'm going to make a prediction, I think he would be mental to go with a back 3. I think he would be absolutely. It never works, to play with a back 3. Well, I don't know why I call it a back 3. It's a back 5 when we play it, but let's call it a back 3 just for argument's sake. When you play that system, you need wing backs that are top class. We don't have that. Even with Emerson, we've got no good quality sort of supply or defence coming from that position. It just makes us vulnerable. And you need 3 centre backs. I said it in the last show that know their job. Putting 3 centre backs in there instead of 2 doesn't make you safer. It just causes confusion. Nobody knows their job. When you've got 2 in there, each one knows that's whose side of the pitch is whose. They know. It's easy to communicate. So I don't think he'll do that. I think he will go for a 4-2-3-1 tomorrow. I think he will go with Johnson over Soufal. I do think he'll do that. I think he'll go for Kehrer at right centre back. I think he'll go for Zuma at left centre back, or vice versa, whatever. At left back, I think he's going to go Cresswell. At left wing, I think he's going to go Fornals. At right wing, I think he's going to go Bowen. Central defensive the central defence is just going to be the same. It's going to be Rice, Souček, Paqueta, and I think he probably will play Antonio up front in this one. Which, if David Moyes is going to play the way I think he's going to play, I think I'd probably prefer that Antonio played, because the last thing that I want to see is Scamacca standing up front on his own for 70 to 80 minutes with no one anywhere near him, just scratching his arse, getting angry, because he does get angry. You can see he gets visibly pissed off. He was angry in that Aston Villa game where the same happened. He got subbed off. He was fuming when he came off. I don't really want to see Scamacca in that sort of situation. So if we're going to play that way, I think I'd rather he just picked Antonio, because Antonio will just do it. He'll do the job. It's a fruitless job, because it won't yield anything. But that's the way I think that David Moyes will play. And when you have Fornals on that team sheet on the left, you know that Fornals is just a second left back to hold Cresswell's hand, and Bowen will be the same. He'll be chasing back as well. It's the only reason they're in. It's the only reason they're in the team over others is because of what they do off the ball. That's it. And we're off the ball a lot with the way that David Moyes plays. It isn't because of our ability in the squad. I've just demonstrated to you we've got footballers. We have, if you play with the likes of Kera, Emmett. Well, Areola for a start is a cultured player. He's really good distribution. Kera, really good passer of the ball. Emerson, he's a good passer of the ball. He's quite a cultured player. Rice, Downs, Fornals, brilliant passers. They move the ball well. That's the type of game that they want to play. Benny, same thing. Trickery as well. And Paqueta, same thing. Loves passing the ball. Don't always get it right. Both of those players in the wide areas, Benny and Paqueta, they're both going to be quite wasteful at times because they try things. But at least up that end of the pitch, they're not going to cause no damage. And we won't be in immediate threat when we lose the ball. And then you've got that Scamacca, who's he's just world class. The guy. I'm just going to say it already. I know he's only 23. I know he ain't quite found his goal scoring touch yet, because although he's scoring goals, my God, is he getting chances? Half of them he makes himself mind, but when he does start finding the back of the net on a regular basis, he's going to be there's going to be regular sort of braces and hat tricks from him. Because he don't need a second invitation. When he gets a sight on goal, that's it. Bang. Phew. Fantastic. And his link-up plays superb. He drops deep, and he will find those players. He'll find Paqueta. He wants to play with players. I don't think he'll want to. He's not going to want to be isolated up front on his own. I don't think anyone really wants that. But no, so that's going to be interesting. And like I say, this is where I say it's in David Moyes' hands. If David Moyes is just brave, it is a bit of a free hit with the fan base. I think if he was to go with a forward-thinking lineup similar to what I said with my 4-2-3-1, where we're going for it and we're trying to peg them back and we're trying to carve chances out, and we lose a game 2 or 3-0, I don't think we'll really care, as long as we've had a go. As long as we've actually had a go. But there is nothing worse than losing when all you've done is just try to not lose. Do you know what I mean? When you just set out to just stop the other team from playing, and you lose anyway, that just sucks the fucking life out of everyone. It does. Even the most hardened David Moyes supporters, if they're being honest, they can't watch and enjoy that. They physically can't. So yeah, it is in David Moyes' hands. He may surprise us. He might. I hope he does. It'd be mad not to. Like I say, it is a free hit. Just go for it. And we've got fucking good players. If you do go for it, there is no reason why we couldn't get something from that game. Trust your players. Trust the ability they've got. We could be a match for a team like Liverpool on our day. It could happen, But we've got more chance of getting something out of the game if we play like that than if we have by not even trying. And that is what a roadblock formation is. You're not even trying. What are you hoping for? You keep it to 0-0 until 85 minutes, and then maybe you'll get a set piece, which we're shit at now. I don't know. So let's just look. Let's see what he does. But that's where I'm saying. Look. It's a negative video because that's how I feel about us at the minute. Okay, I'm not enjoying the football. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just not. I'm not enjoying watching us at the moment. It's fucking hard work. But I love West Ham. West Ham are kind of my life. They always have been. And I'll go for it through thick and thin. And I'll support them, piss and moan, and it's all part of the roller coaster of being a West Ham fan. And there is a good chance that we could get something. We could get something tonight. We could. It's all riding on David Moyes, and I don't know. I've got no faith in it at the moment. But if he does manage to get more out of these next 5 games, if he manages to sort of grind out more than those 6 points in what I'm talking about now, if he gets 9 to 12 points out of that 5 games, then maybe people like me will start to look at it and go, all right, okay, hang on a minute. Because this is 5 tough games. This is a test. The last 5 games, like I said, David Moyes couldn't have picked 5 better games. But this 5 games that are coming up now, that's a fucking test. You know, Liverpool, Bournemouth, Man United, Palace and Leicester. All dangerous teams on their day. Some brilliant teams in there. And the others, even Bournemouth, you know, they're a good footballing team. They're probably in the mould of Fulham, the way that they play. And Palace are a good team as well. You know, they're an attacking outfit. So, yeah, I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. I hope we win. I'd love us to win. There's probably an awful lot of people that are watching this stream thinking that that bloke's sitting there hoping we lose. No, I just don't think I just don't think we'll win. It's not that I'll never hope that we'll lose ever, but I just don't think that we're gonna win. First, it ain't the not winning. Worse than that, it's trying to go for it. I don't think we'll do that, and that will break my heart much more than a defeat, because I'm not. Well, you don't expect to beat Liverpool at their place, do you? So yeah, that's where we are. Right, what we are doing tonight, anyway. I'm sure I've made you really feel like watching me do a watch along now, but we are going to be doing a watch along later. So we're doing a match day show. We are going to be starting, because I haven't got my son's football tonight, so we'll be starting probably 20 minutes before kickoff. So we'll do a build up to the match. And that'll be me, Gary, and hopefully John. And then what we'll do is when the watch-along starts, they'll probably drop off. I'll do the watch-along with you all. The commentary that I piped through the other day, it got a copyright claim, so I had to take it down. But I think I found a work around it. So if I can get some sort of commentary in, I will. I'm going to try it again, because I do think that adds to it. And it gives you guys a little bit more atmosphere when you're listening to the game. So the watch-along will be in a similar format to what we've done last time. What I will do, though, this time is I'll put a clock up on the screen, and I'll have a tracker on there as well, so you'll know what the score is. I mean, that's quite important, really, isn't it? So that will be done as well. Then at half-time, we'll do the half-time phone-in. John and Gary will jump back on with me, and we'll have a chat. And if anybody wants to phone in and have a chinwag, you can. Then following the game, John and Gary will jump straight on full-time, and they'll start the live review of the game. I'll have a chat with you all for about 5 minutes after, and then I'll jump over to the other show and we'll start talking to you all in there, and that'll be a phone-in show. So again, we'll give our thoughts on the game. We'll probably do our player ratings on that as well, and we'll go through the chat, interact with you all, and take callers, whoever wants to phone in. All right. So anyway, look, quite a long ramble today, half an hour. So yeah, look, I am sorry. I do really want to be positive. I do. So I am sorry if the tone's a bit negative whenever you watch me. But it's just, I'm not going to lie about the way that I feel. I'm just a bit negative about it all at the moment. I'm not enjoying the main thing is I'm not enjoying the football. First and foremost, as a West Ham fan, I want to be entertained, and I've not been entertained by this team. And I don't blame the team. I blame the manager for quite some time. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to be entertained in the near future. Who knows? But look, anyway, like I said to you, if you enjoyed the show, please drop a like on it for us, because it really helps us. And subscribe to our channel, Claret and Booze. And come back and watch me lose my shit as Liverpool rattle in about 7 goals past us later on. I'm sure that'd be a really good watch. All right then. No, we're not. We're going to beat them. We're going to beat them. Give me your hands.